It hits. That burning in the chest that feels like pressure but carries louder screams that no one else hears. The endless swirl of doubts crashing like waves until you're gasping for air. Every sleepless night feels like a countdown, each minute closer to that edge where everything might just fall apart. Because building a startup, living that life, it's not just about hectic days and long meetings. It is a constant, relentless battle inside your mind. It is a race against yourself before anyone else shows up in the game. You don't just fight market problems or competition. You fight exhaustion, fear, loneliness, and the crushing weight of expectations so high no ladder can reach them. You start because of a spark, an idea that won't let you rest. But soon, it's no longer just about the idea. It becomes about survival, about holding on when logic screams to let go. Every investor, call-patching cracks in confidence. Every customer rejection, wearing away at the edges until you question if any of this was ever real. The isolation hits next. No one tells you that moving fast isn't just speed, but a dizzying blur where your own reflection becomes a stranger. You watch yourself unravel in tiny pieces. This isn't weakness. It's an invisible battlefield where you're on all fronts at once, desperate not to collapse. And the world outside? It looks at you and says, push harder. It's blind to the stutter inside your voice, the sweat behind your smile. Society glorifies the hustle, the grind, the never quit stories, without showing the cracks behind those liners. Be resilient, they say. But resilience isn't magic. It's bone-deep exhaustion and the brave act of waking up anyway. The truth is, behind every successful startup is a hidden struggle, a psychological war that leaves many broken before they even get close to winning. But here's what's rarely spoken out loud. That battle can be won. Not by ignoring the cracks, but by knowing exactly how to reinforce them. Not with brute strength alone, with strategy, with ruthless honesty, with connection. All those sleepless nights and racing thoughts, they don't have to be moments of collapse. They can be the sparks of breakthrough, if only you take the right steps. First, it's about breaking the brutal myth that you must carry the weight alone. The deepest isolation comes from keeping doubts locked inside your chest. Find your real people, those who won't sugarcoat, who challenge you, listen without judgment, and push you to grow beyond your limits. Not just advisors or surface-level contacts, but a raw, unfiltered circle that sees you fractured and still believes. Because psychological collapse feeds on solitude. When you share the burden, you take power back. It's not easy. It is the act of courage no founder wants to admit needing, but it's the foundation of any survival. Then, build your mental walls smartly. This means trusting strategy over stubbornness. Many founders fall victim to endless fix-it-later loops, ignoring burnout signs, dismissing mental health as weakness, thinking willpower is a renewable resource. It's not. You have to carve out real rest and recovery. Guard time like it's your most precious asset. Avoid numb distractions that waste time and energy. Instead, invest in micro-habits that reset your brain. Meditation, journaling, even short walks where the mind can unplug. These aren't fluffy suggestions. They are proven shields against the creeping paralysis of anxiety and self-doubt. When your mind stiffens, the business stiffens with it. Short breaks won't stop the madness, but they slow the spiral enough to catch your breath. Next comes something brutal for many. Embracing failure, not just as feedback, but as fuel. Psychological collapse often kicks in when the whole identity is tied up in success or perfection. When a founder's sense of worth is locked to milestones and numbers, Any setback feels like a personal void. But shifting the frame, seeing failure as necessary, expected, and actually a sign you're pushing boundaries, releases a lifetime of pressure. The rare few who survive that stage know failure isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. It's better to fall hard and learn than to slide silently into mediocrity, quiet and unnoticed. But there's no way around the truth. This journey demands ruthless self-awareness and honesty. Self-deception, no matter how comforting, is the quickest path to breakage. Look at your patterns, your triggers, your limits. Sometimes the hardest part is admitting you can't do everything, that some partnerships drain instead of fuel you, that certain habits or mindsets are poison. Letting go, even if it feels like surrender, can be the fiercest act of control you have. When you start choosing what to say yes to and fiercely protect your energy, you reshape your inner landscape from chaos into order. And maybe the hardest piece of all, the need for patience. In this fast-paced world, everything yells, now, now, now. But the mind, the spirit behind the hustle, works on a different clock. The greatest breakthroughs come in the long game, in tiny daily wins that compound over time. Psychological survival is about endurance over speed, about stacking resilience brick by brick, even when the mountain feels impossible to climb. The ones who burn out early are often those who forget to nurture themselves within the madness, who believe that intensity equals progress. The truth? There is no shortcut. The journey is slow, and the real question is how to last long enough to cross the finish line. So where does that leave anyone staring down the chaos, ready to give in? It leaves you with a choice that no one else can make for you. To keep fighting alone on a slippery ledge, or to step into a new way of becoming, where psychology is understood, acknowledged, and managed as fiercely as every spreadsheet or pitch deck. It means building networks not just of deals, but of honest connection. It means admitting vulnerability in a world that mocks it. It means refusing false comfort and chasing radical freedom. Freedom from self-doubt, from isolation, from exhaustion that whispers you're not enough. Behind every shattering moment is an opportunity to transcend, to break the circle of collapse and burn brighter on the other side. Because every startup is more than a project or a product. It's a test of soul, a crucible where the human spirit is forged or fractured. To win, it's not about tougher armor. It's about smarter strategy, deeper honesty, and alliances that go beyond the surface. It's about embracing the psychological as the ultimate battleground, because that's where the war is truly won. And the good news? You don't have to be alone in this war. Out there, beyond borders and titles, there's a network. A rare few who understand exactly what this means. They don't just cheer from the sidelines. They share pieces of themselves, their struggles, their lessons. Together, you can turn misalignment into power, isolation into synergy. You can find those few who burn as fiercely as you do, whose fire lights the next step when your own flickers. In that union, the impossible becomes real, because it's not built on fragile assumptions, but on shared, relentless becoming. So when night falls and the voices inside threaten to drown everything out, remember this. The greatest danger isn't your breaking point. It's believing you have to reach it alone. The path forward is not one of silent collapse. It's a collective becoming. The startup isn't just a company. It's a battleground that demands the fiercest courage you own. A place where psychology is the secret weapon, and survival means radically transforming not just your product, but yourself. There is no final finish line. The race never ends, but those who run with allies, guard their minds, and redefine their reality don't just survive, they become unstoppable. And that is exactly who is watching this now.